Nuggets won last night?
Well, Nikola Jokić was Jokić. Jokić was Jokić. He had his 10th career triple-double postseason, passed Wilt for the most. But, Skip, you got Jamal Murray, had 2 points in the first half. He comes out and gets 17 in the second half. Michael Porter Jr. has 19 points. He had 14 in that big first quarter. Got him off to that great start.
He did.
But when your two big guns get going, okay, who's going to be that third guy that gives you a little juice? It was Bruce Brown. 25 big points off the bench.
Yep.
Did a demolition job on the Suns bench. Landry Shamet did not have it go. And the thing is that you got to make Book work. Somebody's got to make him work. If you got to guard Murray, Murray's got to make it work. If he's guarding Michael Porter Jr., Michael Porter Jr.'s got to make it work. You got to take some of that zap out of those legs, not have the lift. Skip, he was what did he shoot? He shot 8 of 19, 42%. That's his lowest field goal percentage of this postseason. Also, they're 0-3 in which either Book or KD, neither one of those guys get to at least 30. They've been going bonkers, and they've had to in order to keep pace with the Nuggets. Because I think the Nuggets have an overall better team, but they do possess 2 of the 3 best players with Book and KD. But, Skip, when you get Jokić being his efficient self, look, DeAndre Ayton is 7 of 12, 14 points and 9 rebounds. But he offers you no resistance to Jokić. Skip, Jokić gets whatever he wants. Whenever he wants it, he got the ball going all around his head, behind his back. He put it behind it. He looking back, and the next thing you know, he bounces Jamal Murray, laying it up in the basket. They've got to find a way, Skip. Look, KD is struggling shooting the ball from the floor. He's had one game in which he's been really efficient. Other than that, Skip, he's been really, really inefficient. And you look at the numbers last night, what was he, 10 or 24? He's had a couple of those games, Skip, some 9 or 25s stuffed in there also, with the exception of that 11 of 19. He hasn't been the Kevin Durant that we normally see shooting the ball at a high percentage.
Nope.
They're in trouble, Skip. I'm not saying they're out of it, because when you got 2 guys that can go get you 50, and in a given game, they can go get you 40 apiece. But it just goes to show you, Skip, how the level in which they have to play at just to beat the Nuggets by 2, 3, 4 points. They've got to go get 86 between the two. They've got to get high 70s, low 80s just to beat the Nuggets. Nuggets blow them out. I mean, they got back in the game in the second quarter, and then they come out in the third quarter. I think they won like a 17-4 run, and they never looked back after that. This Book is going to have to give you 50. KD's going to have to give you 38, 39. But they're going to have to get close to damn near 80 points or over in order for them to hold on to force a Game 7.
Okay, so I did pick the Suns to win not only the West, but to win it all. Last night, and I know a lot of people disagree with me, and you disagree with me on this. Last night was the night they really, really missed Chris Paul. They needed his guidance. They needed his quarterbacking. They needed his presence. That they needed somebody with some mental and physical toughness to settle them down and to set them back up where they needed to be set up. Because Kevin Durant came out as flat as I've ever seen him come out for a game of magnitude. Kevin bleepin' Durant was hard to watch last night. And I used bleepin' in a negative context as opposed to a positive, because usually when I say Kevin bleepin' Durant, that means he's that guy. He's the best player on the planet. I told you after what the Celtics did to him in the first round last year when he was with Brooklyn, disqualified him from being the best player on the planet. So I'm waiting to see if he can earn his way back into that role, at least in my eyes. Last night, he was pathetic on both ends of the floor from jump. He was not ready to play. He didn't seem to care that much about playing. And to your point, now when he shoots the ball, the book on him is just to rough him up, get physical with him, get tough with him, just overpower him, bully him. Kevin Durant gets bullied by the Nuggets defense, just the way he got bullied by the Celtics defense. And he starts to shrink, and he starts to get tentative, and he starts to get hesitant. And he was shooting with very little conviction for much of the night. He's still so supremely gifted that at the end of the day or night, you'll look at the stat sheet and say, well, that wasn't too bad, right? He did have 26, 11, and 7, but 10 out of 24.
Yeah, but it took you 24.
No.
You still remember Pat Bev Russ was telling him I got 40, and Pat Bev said, yeah, it took you 37 shots, though. I mean, yeah, he got 26, but it took him 27 shots. Normally Kevin Durant will have 26 points on 14 shots.
That is correct. And he did miss 3 out of his 9 free throws last night, which is just not like him.
Oh, yeah.
And that brings me to the 5 turnovers. They're just he's turning into Russell Westbrook. He's starting to lose the handle on the ball like hands of tissue, where he's getting intimidated by the blitz, by the second defender coming, and he gets shaky-handed and he just loses the basketball.
Because, Skip, we want to make him be a facilitator.
Yeah.
We just don't want him to just turn and catch and shoot the ball. We're going to make you make plays for someone else.
Yes.
And we're going to make you do out through the course of the ball game, and we're going to see if you can do that.
Yeah.
Has he done it? Yes. But he would much rather get the ball and make a play for himself as opposed to making plays for others. So they keep putting him in that situation. You've got to make plays to Ayton. You've got to get the ball to Book. You've got to get the ball to the other guys. And, right now, he's turned into a turnover machine.
He comes in and plays his tail off is what he does. But they got a lot of guys like that because that's what Bruce Brown does.
That's what Bruce Brown does, yes.
All right, so I thought last night was just about bullying. It was about physicality. It was about we're just better than you in our building. And it was a beatdown, even though, to your point, my one bright spot was I love Terrence Ross. I keep telling you that. He did make 3 out of 4 threes.
He did.
And would you believe he made 1 3 late in the second quarter with 1:39 left? He made a 3 that put them up 48-47. Then they unraveled a little bit to the end of the half, and then your guy Jokić in the third quarter just took the game over and scored 17 in the third. Durant was a no-show. Nobody. It ended up going completely haywire in the third quarter.
Yeah, they gave up 39 points.
Okay, it's no good. Okay, so then at the end of the third quarter, did you notice the little fracas that ensued over on the near the Suns bench? If we could see what happened, I'm not sure I've ever seen this happen before. But I think Monty Williams, so Book is trying to shoot a tech. And Monty Williams wanted a little impromptu, little skull session. Like just barely in bounds. And the Nuggets weren't having it. So they said, well, the ball's still in play, so we're going to go over and get in the middle. And then Durant just shoves. I think Jokić flopped a little bit there. But the point was, Bruce Brown's getting in the middle of it. And he got a technical. Kevin deserved his technical. I'm not sure Bruce Brown even deserved a technical, but they had to do something because he was initiating.
They gave him double takes.
He was escalating the situation.
He was.
But I'm not sure I've ever seen.
Because we see that all the time, Skip. We see guys try to go get the huddle like, what y'all drawing?
But sometimes LeBron does it just for laughs.
Right.
He's just jacking around with Steph or somebody, like putting his ear in. And Jokić said after the game, well, I wanted to hear what they were doing. They're saying it's fair game because the ball is still technically in play, even though nobody's standing around the free throw line because it's a technical foul shot. And I had grudging respect for that because that was sort of the tone of the night, the whole night that Denver set was not in our house.
Right.
You can't do it. So all I'm going to remind you of is in Game 2 in Denver, late in the third quarter, the visiting team, the Phoenix Suns, were up 3 when Chris Paul fatefully pulled his, not hamstring, he pulled his groin. And he was, at that point in the game, a plus 19 for the time he'd been on the floor. So that was he was having real impact on the game. To your point, do they have to play a little slower with him at his advanced age? He's about he's turning 38.
He's 38. He just turned 38.
Okay. So do they have to go a little slower?
Yeah.
Not that he can't run. He's just a little more deliberate with the basketball because he will set things up and try to get the perfect shot for the perfect guy who is not doubled because you can't double everybody.
Right.
And so I liked the flow with Chris. I get it. They can play more helter-skelter, run-and-gun kind of basketball, and that's what they did in Games 3 and 4 in Phoenix.
Well, the style they're playing now favors more Book and KD, the up-and-down action, the phonetic plays. The more deliberate, you only gonna get so many shots when you're as deliberate as Chris Paul plays the game at.
Okay, but he's gonna get some shots.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, when they have needed him to make those 15, 17-foot shots, he's been making.
He's gonna make the shots that Campaign isn't making.
Thank you. And I like Campaign, and he was once upon a time a first-round pick, but he's been overmatched here.
Yeah.
He made the 1-3.
But he was out of the league until Monty Williams got him up the job.
I got it. I got it. Yeah, he kind of busted in Oklahoma City because Sam Presti took him, whatever it was, like the 18th overall pick, I believe he was.
He was there with Russ for a minute, and I think he ended up going to, didn't he go to Washington? He ended up.
He's got a funky left-handed shot, and sometimes, like against LeBron and company 3 years ago, when they eliminated the Lakers, he got going as a bench player, as a role player, as a super sub.
Yes.
Yeah, he could do that. But when you ask him to be a starting point guard, it's not looking good. So my point is, they became book or bust because Devin Booker has been a sensation until last night. Well, he was masking, camouflaging their flaws without Chris Paul to me because he was just doing it all.
Yes.
He was dribbling the ball up the floor. He was initiating sometimes, or he would just initiate his own shot.
He was playing so well, Skip. You're like, they don't need Chris Paul.
Right.
But it's games like this when the pace gets too chaotic that you need a calming presence.
You do.
That's not who Campaign is. His thing is to push right back. Come on, guys, let's get right back at him. Chris Paul's going like, no, let's slow this thing down because he feels it starts to slip away. So now, instead of trying to get a rush shot, he's like, let's slow it down. Let's try to get a layup. Let's try to get something real easy going towards the basket.
Let's make them play at our pace.
Right.
And let's match their physicality because Chris, as you know, he's not going to take no for an answer from DeAndre Ayton or whoever it is of the bigger
Well, you saw
guys.
Book yelling at Ayton last night on the sideline. Don't you want to win? Mm-hmm. You're like, nah, not really. I'm just collecting checks right now.
Okay, so you can't ask Devin Booker to make every shot because the degree of difficulty of all of his shots is high.
I mean, Skip, the way he's been playing the last, 20, 25, 14 to 18, and throughout the entirety of these playoffs. And so, you got to have a bad game. I mean, there are series that Jordan averaged 41, but I mean, there had to be a game in there somewhere, Skip, that he didn't make every shot.
No, he just didn't. And then last night, Book tweaked his foot. It didn't look like it was his ankle.
Yeah, he went for a steal and hit the scoring table.
And the one I was thinking of is where he was laying the ball up and he came down awkwardly. I don't know what happened. He stayed down for a second, then he was a little limpy.
Right. I thought it was one he was trying to steal the ball. They threw an outlet pass to Gordon, and he almost got it, and he almost ran into the scoring table.
Well, not the one under the upright or the.
No. This was like they threw an outlet pass to Gordon, and he went for the interception.
All right. Well, whatever. He was a little limpy, and I hope he's going to be okay. It's not a pull. Right. It looked like a sprain or something. It wasn't a rollover ankle. But the point is, can they go home and hold serve? Yeah, I believe they can.
Well, Skip, look, this is what we know. If you get another 19 from Porter Jr. and you get 20 points off the bench from somebody, and Jamal Murray gives you 19, y'all going home. If you get that kind of production from 4 players, you going home because you only got 2.
Yeah. Well,
and even if Landry Shamet gives you what he gave you, you're still outgunned because they got an extra guy. I mean, at some point in time, Skip, don't you want DeAndre Ayton to give you double-digit rebounds? The man's 7 foot tall, Skip.
He is. No, I got it. I don't know. What I want is for Kevin Durant to come out and set the tone.
Well, Skip, he's just missing shots. It's not like a LeBron, where LeBron took no shots. He took 5 shots. He just only made 1. And then he go to the second quarter, Skip, he goes 4 of 11. So the first half, he's 5 of 15. You're like, that ain't KD.
They just look so indecisive to me. They look so out of rhythm. And I credit to Denver for that because they're making it hard on him. They're getting physical with him. Yeah. But the point is, you know and I know, there's a tone you can set as a superstar because you can still argue on any given night he can be the best player on the floor. I mean, he just can. Even with Jokić and Jamal, he can still be the best player. He just didn't have the body language of I'm the best player last night.
But Gordon's a big body. And it takes a lot of you. He's been physical with him. He's trying to get up under him. He's trying to bang on him a little bit. Make him feel his presence. Because the one thing you don't want a finesse player to do is get comfortable.
Yeah, but what I hated about Kevin last night, he was just deadheaded on defense. He just didn't care. Because, listen, Michael Porter Jr., they're just shooting threes uncontested. Like, they're shooting gallery threes. Him and even Aaron Gordon, they were just daring him. Here, if you want this, go ahead and take it.
He's like, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, they was 5 of 7 in the first quarter. Opened up that big lead, opened up 11-point lead.
The truth was the game was over after a quarter. Even though they came back, you just knew what was going to happen. Then it was time for the home team to make its run, and that was the end of the game.
Yeah, the home team is trying to skip. Every home team is trying to get out and run, get their crowd into it.
Yeah.
But that's where you got to be smart enough to know I ain't playing at this pace. I'm going to slow this thing down.
Yep, I got it.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.